it's kind of more impactful. Like on holiday weekends on Kentucky Lake, I'm able to get in the patrol boat with him and get out on the lake and work that boating safety. And then when you pull up to somebody and check them and they're looking like that back and forth, they see our name tags and they're trying to look.
Rider.
Yeah, they're seeing our names and then we say, yeah, we're father and son. They say, oh, how cool is that?
The award-winning Tennessee WildCast is on the air with the latest on hunting, fishing, boating, wildlife watching, and all things outdoors. Make welcome your host, drummer and outdoor expert novice, Jason Harmon.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of Tennessee WildCast. We're glad you're tuning in. Thanks for watching and listening. We got a great show for you today. Got some officers in the building, so we're going to behave.
Exactly. Yep.
Don, straighten up over there.
Okay.
But first, we want to introduce a radio station. Kick it off.
Yeah, we've got WCSK. That's the latest addition to our 24 radio stations across the state that are. And this is the cool part about it is it covers us clear up to Kingsport.
There you
go.
go.
We're Memphis to Kingsport all the way. Kingsport City Schools, WCSK 90.3. And I think they hold the record for the most plays of WildCast per week. On Saturdays and Sundays, we're on at 4:30 p.m. both days. And the extras, the WildCast extras, the 5-minute pieces, air at 9 a.m., 2 p.m., and 5:40 p.m. every day of the week. So
awesome.
We appreciate WCSK in Kingsport.
That's great. So it's a school, right?
Yes.
So a lot of kids listening.
Yep.
They may be interested in this show today.
Exactly. Hey, we're always up for new recruits. Hey, speaking of new recruits,
We got one in the house, a newer recruit.
Yeah.
And then we've got the man in charge, Mr. Darren Rider, Colonel.
seeking out those recruits.
Yeah, and his son Slate. So we're excited to have Slate and Darren with us today. We're going to talk about becoming an officer and some of the things around it, and then kind of some of the special parts that they have, a bond here that father and son in the field. So that's kind of cool.
We always hear about TWRA being a family kind of agency,
Yep.
and that's so true. So many family members decide to follow their parents' footsteps,
Mm-hmm.
and anyway, it's neat to see, and we got a great example of it here today.
Yeah. Thank you guys for being here.
Appreciate it.
Yes,
Appreciate
sir.
it, Jason. Appreciate it. Don, I don't know if the audience will know, but I see you were stacking up some boards here.
Yeah, that's right.
To get up to our height. So.
I got to do my best to keep up with you guys on the height department here. I'm a little challenged, but I got a couple of shims, and I'm good to go now.
It's all good, but we appreciate it. So it's kind of twofold here is to kind of give our background and history, the uniqueness of a father-son combo.
Yeah.
Working the agency and both in law enforcement. And also it's pretty good timing in the recruitment piece of it, because right now we have opened up our application process and period for about 3 weeks. It's been running about a week. So it's kind of our time to start receiving applicants to become a wildlife officer. And so, we've been fortunate. We can talk about that a little bit later, but it's kind of unique that we're still together and able to work together in certain aspects and all that. So with that, we've had our history in our, like Don alluded to, is the family, the family interest is we've had 4 other father and son combos as long as I've been in my career at 36 years.
Wow.
So it's been quite a journey. It's been quite a ride. It's been awesome. It's been great. And, Don, I'll always remember that legacy video with that music, how impactful that is. So whether I claim that as my legacy, but maybe so, we'll wait and see how that turns out. How that turns out. So it's unique in that part.
That's neat. That's neat.
That's great. Well, let's jump into some of this, becoming an officer and recruitment and things. So right now, the process of hiring is happening. And so what are we looking for when we're looking for an officer?
So we just did a new recruitment video that should be posted out that we showed at the director of staff this meeting. So that hopefully that'll hit some folks and make them inquire some more further questions about how to become an officer. But in its simplicity, from the education piece, there is a Bachelor of Science degree required.
That's the first step, right?
That is it. You've got to have that degree, and it's in wildlife or fisheries management. It's in wildlife or fisheries biology, and it's also in natural resources. But we do look at degrees that have a close related field that's gotten a certain amount of hours and all the subjects that they need to be to come to the interview. Then once the application period ends, we got a couple more weeks to run it. Then what'll happen is we get that register and we start selecting the candidates, and then we'll bring them in for a 20-minute meet and greet first interview. Then we'll have to glean out of that how many we want to bring back for a long 55-minute interview. Then if they do get offered a position, a job, then it comes to a 22-week training academy that we do in-house, that we built. This will be our 4th year for this academy. So we're really excited about that academy, and that focuses solely on conservation law enforcement. They get all the training and the indoctrination into the agency through that 22-week program.
So, Slate, what was your degree in? What was your focus?
My degree was in natural resource management with a concentration of wildlife biology.
Awesome.
So,
okay.
Yeah, it was fun 4 years. It's fun classes. You get to learn a bunch of stuff, and then, it's just working up to your goal, your end goal of coming in here and interviewing and getting a job. So it's a dream come true for me.
Yeah, yeah.
And what school was that?
UT Martin. Go Skyhawks.
Where's that? Is that a school?
He's a tech. He's a tech grad.
I say that. I'm a Tennessee Tech grad. So
Family rivalry.
rivalry going on there.
Yeah. So that's just good information. So there's multiple options in Tennessee, a lot of good schools, but there's kind of like 4 main schools that you can attend, right?
Right. We see a lot of candidates come through the Martin program, great program. Tennessee Tech's got a great program. UT Knoxville's got a great program, and we're starting to see some LMU folks have got a program, and I know Union University has a program. Memphis has got a program, but there's several states, several colleges in the state that will prep you to be able to apply for us.
And I know Cleveland State's they're a junior college, right?
Right. So it's a bachelor degree, so they can get their
that's a good place to start.
Foundation, get their basic stuff, and then move on to another university that offers that focuses on the management, wildlife management, and fisheries management piece.
So that's the first step. Get your degree in order and know that path, because if you want to be an officer, we're looking for those folks that have that expertise.
Yeah, and if I could, it's a passion versus pay, because, we're state workers, we get that, but it's all about the passion. And, and watching him, I guess he could probably need to answer that, me coming home every day, but he was fortunate that, the wood duck trapping, the turkey trapping, the goose roundups, and all that he was able to participate at an early young age, kind of exposed him to that. Then
hunting and fishing
a lot. And then, as he got towards the end of high school, and I'm thinking, I need to get you on another path. No. And then I thought physical therapy, what a wonderful thing. UT Chattanooga's got a great physical therapy program. Let's get into that, come out and make money. And I could never get him to budge. And then finally my only wife, my current wife.
For now, no.
is she just finally said, you don't get it. Leave the boy alone. He wants to be an officer. And I thought, man, you know what? I sat back and thought about it, and I said, she's right.
Think back to when you were his age, right? Yeah.
And she's right. So at that point, I got off that different path and tried to help him along to get him prepared through college, and give him tidbits and stuff. But then again, right now, Mama's not happy because those phone calls to Mama were constant until he got this job, and now guess who he calls? He don't call Mama no more, so son, call Mama.
Oh, I know.
Often as you can, because she likes to talk to him, but now he calls me. We talk where the fish biting, and are they killing any turkeys? Any seen any big deer? So that's kind of our conversation now. But he needs to start calling Mama a little more regular.
Absolutely.
So was this the path
Oh, absolutely. And Dad hit on it. The exposure that I got every day from him coming in and out of the job, all the different events, the people I met, ever since I could really, grasp what was going on, I want to be a game ward. I guess it was sophomore year of college. We were on that physical therapy route and talked about that. I think it was one summer, maybe going to my junior year, and that's what I told Mom. I said, Mom, I want to be a game warden. So I think she went in there, had a talk with Dad, and it ended there. So
Permission granted.
that's right.
Yeah.
But all the advice and the mentoring he's gave me, I couldn't ask for anything else from him. So it's been a great ride so far in my career, and it's just beginning. So I can't wait to see what 20-something more years has to offer. So I'm really excited to go forward.
Tell us a little bit about the process. So you went to school and came out of school.
That's
and
right.
Your process was just a little bit different than what these new guys are going to
Yeah,
do.
my process was 12 weeks at Buffalo Ridge, and then we went on FTO out in the field, and then we went to Donaldson. I was the last class to go through Donaldson, the police academy, for 12 weeks. So,
Okay.
But nowadays, the new academy is 24 weeks long, and it's a little brutal at first. Get in shape and get mentally prepared for it, but in the end, it'll all be worth it. It's great training. The guys you get to meet, all the different officers, that's what I really liked about the 12 weeks at Buffalo Ridge, was all the different people you got met around the state. So you build your bonds, your chemistry with all the guys in your class, and that's going to absolutely stay with you your whole work career. I still talk to my guys that I graduated with through Police Academy. We just talk and, catch up, whatever. Hey, how's work going and stuff. So it's pretty cool, all the guys and girls you get to meet too.
So we've kind of touched on the education part. You got to make sure you got a wildlife forestry degree. We mentioned those, so that's good.
Another thing during those college years, the importance of volunteering your time and getting out, getting your hands dirty, getting your boots dirty.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
And learning what goes on out in the
That's right.
field. It's just so important.
Any volunteer work or any, check-in stations to work and,
Yep.
and things like that to get you involved, and you get to see firsthand on what's going on. I participated in a lot of those, and it was great to see all that.
And another encouragement is the students that are going through the wildlife programs is take those initiatives for volunteer, like you said, deer check station, but
Yeah.
also reach out to the local officers in your community and get with them and tell them who you are, what you're interested in, build that relationship. And that way, when you come to interview, some of us.
Right.
And then especially what we try to do is fish fries and bowls to college students. You know how it is. Food, they're coming.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, right.
And they get to see us out of uniform and regular. We're not all dressed up, guns on, and all that, so they can see us in a more normal atmosphere and get to know them. We want to know them on a more personal level
Right.
than more than the educational side. So we try to do some of those activities with some universities, and you build those relationships with those kids that you may see in a year or two, and in a year or two they may be in a uniform.
Right.
So speaking of schools, wildlife societies are big, right?
Yes.
There's a lot of groups that these students can be a part of. Were you a part of that, Slade?
Yeah, yes, sir, I was. I enjoyed the Wildlife Society a lot, and all the guys and girls in there. It's neat getting to have everybody around have the same interest.
Right, same
so,
passion, yeah.
Yep. So it was fun doing Wildlife Society. We went to conclaves and CFWAs and stuff like that, and got to spend a lot of time together. So it was a lot of fun on that aspect of it.
Yeah. It's important. That networking is important.
Absolutely.
In any job you're getting into. It's always good to volunteer and get your name out there and all that good stuff. So you touched on this at the beginning, but father and son, officer and combos out there. There's been a few come through the agency. That's pretty special, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I know from your side, I'm sure it really
Yeah,
is.
and to see that be, watch that, observe, watch those father and sons, but it's kind of more impactful. Like on holiday weekends on Kentucky Lake, I'm able to get in the patrol boat with him and get out on the lake and work that boating safety. And then when you pull up to somebody and check them, and they're looking like that back and forth, they see our name tags and they're trying to look.
Rider,
say,
Rider. Yeah.
Yeah, they're seeing our names, and then we say, yeah, we're father and son. They say, oh, how cool is that? And we're good with that.
Yeah.
And then, we've been able to work, like I said, we've worked some opening muzzleloader weekends to where we can go out and work, and he leads me out on the ridge, and I'm kind of walk back, and I'm thinking, this is a young man's game. and they show up with a four-wheeler because they felt sorry for me, wanted to give me a ride back there. I said, no, ain't no way I'm riding that four-wheeler back to my truck. I'm walking. So we can create some memories. Got a few more years left, so hopefully we can be in the same situation to patrol and work events. I know another impactful event is at least 7 days together at that Waverly flood, and that was impactful.
Wow, yeah.
And then to watch us all come together, not just father son, but our unit of guys and gals that were assigned to that detail or that event, it was unbelievable. So we were able to work side by side during that event in another capacity, not from a wildlife enforcement standpoint, but helping the community standpoint.
Sure.
So we've had some good stuff to be together on. So hopefully in the next few years we'll have a couple more opportunities to spend together.
Yeah, that's a big one that I don't think people understand or know about. Is we're not just all law enforcement all the time or wildlife law enforcement. Sometimes you have to step up. We have the tools that some other agencies don't have to help with floods or help with different fires and things like that. We're on call for a lot of different things.
Oh yeah, ice storms, the recent East Tennessee fires, tornado damage. We do it all. We even get shipped out to state if you're training. We've got the training and the assets that a lot of folks, like you said, don't have. So, and then manhunts is a big thing that we've had participation in. And what better knowledge of the terrain than the local officer, game warden in that county knows his terrain, and that's where we get leaned on a lot to help out and assist in those disaster events.
And I've been around long enough to remember you guys' participation in Katrina.
Absolutely.
2005. That was a huge effort among a lot of states, but Tennessee especially.
Yeah, we sent 32 officers down there and had our boats, and we spent 7 days down there. And it was quite an event too. But the local, when you witness that local Waverly, how it impacts locally, it really hits home, and it really is heartfelt that you can try to do as best as you can do and help out as much as you can.
Yeah. Well, when you're not on the job, what are you guys doing?
Right now we're chasing them birds.
I was going to say, it just happened. So the season just kind of got kicked off. How's the season going so far?
Well,
okay.
So me and sister daughter, we're trying to hunt some birds, and we're big holing him, not telling him where they're at.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because daughter needs to have a bird, because I can't stand the lashback or feedback from her that he's already killed a bird and I ain't killed a bird. Then when we tell him where they're at, he goes and kills them.
Yeah.
So we kind of keep that hidden. But right now, chasing birds, and then hopefully we like to crappie fish together, and then. We don't tell nobody this, but we like to jump in them creeks and get after them smallmouth. That's kind of my specialty, is going after them smallmouth. So
when you say jump in the creek, you're wading, right? Are you fishing from a boat or? Okay.
Yeah.
Can't tell them everything.
No, it's all wade.
So what's the GPS coordinates for this?
No, it's all wade fishing. So it's local streams, and there's a lot of good smallmouth around here. Just got to get the access and the permission. But I've been chasing them, fishing these creeks for 36 years. I'm in my 36th year right now, so I got a few places I can go catch a smallmouth.
We've got a special guest that we've had on a couple of times, but his channel is Creek Fishing Adventures.
Absolutely.
And John Dalton.
John Dalton.
Yeah, and man, he's all over it. We had a hard time peeling him away from 7 Mile Creek out here. He had to
absolutely.
drive across it to come in. And I said, yeah, that's good that you came in to do the show and didn't step out there and wet a line right there in the creek.
It's hard not to. When
Yeah.
you see a good looking creek, you're thinking the whole time, how'd I get to those fish?
Yeah.
So what's something that stands out with you and your dad out hunting growing up? I mean, you've been around it your whole life, and a lot of our officers grew up, or most of them grew up in the outdoors. But what's one that stands out?
I'm gonna say my first turkey I killed with my dad. Well, I think I was using a little 20 gauge. I don't know. I can't remember how old I was, but it was picture perfect. They were roosted up on the ridge, flew down, walked up to the logging road, and I shot. Turkey rolled. Turkey gets up, takes off. I was crying, I was tore up. Of course, he's asked me what I was looking at. Dad, I hit the bird, it rolled off. So we went on about our business, and we come back that evening it was that evening. We saw buzzards and stuff. We went down there, looked for the turkey, and there's a big pile of feathers. So I guess the coyotes or something got a hold of him. I looked at him. I said, "I told you I killed that bird."
Well, the part he left out was as soon as he shot, I knew that bird was hit, but how good, not too sure. So he's moving and he's going away. So I jump up trying to help, and what he left out was the tree root.
Oh, yeah.
So I go, like cartoon, flying spread eagle, land on my belly, and I'm laying there, guns over here. He's back in the tree just looking. And I get up and I said, man, there's nothing more I can do. But the beauty is we did go back and find that bird, and we got the spurs and the beard. I lost the meat, I get it, but at least that was his trophy, and he
Fed the community
he took him
there.
home.
Yeah.
Had him in duck blinds at 3 years old, and you couldn't get in the blind because he sat at that door at the end, and everybody that came in that door that had a duck, it had to go to him first. And he would stack them up on the bench and separate the bag limits back then. If you came in the blind, your duck went here, and everybody had their own pile of ducks. So he started out early.
I guess another good one I can think of is, I guess we were in Cheatham, WMA, hunting one of the public blinds. We were hunting. It was a slow day, cold too, and they cranked up them heaters back there, the Mr. Heaters, the old school heaters, and I didn't think nothing about it. I was young, and so I still got a scar across my hand because I walked up to it. I saw it shining. I just leaned up against it and just, not thinking. And he wraps up my hand when we get home, and Mama comes through the door, and she knows something's up. Hey, don't say anything to your mama. No, I won't. But she knew. She said, what happened? So that was another good story that I can remember, burning my hand on the heaters.
And hopefully he's learned what happens in the duck blind stays in the duck blind.
That's right.
And you don't give away your favorite fishing spot.
No. Try not to do that right now. So, and then, I have to appreciate my wife, his mother, that, certainly endured my 36 year career, and what are you in your 4th or 5th year now?
3.5, going on 4.
Fixing to be 4 years, and from that perspective, she's got concern, and she likes to hear from us, and because now she's reliving him going through what she grew up with me, and so there's some. She checks up on us pretty regularly. Yeah. So and I get that.
And the thing of it is too, we talked about the family affair, and you, of course, it's obvious with the two of you, but it's also your spouse. Your wife, Slate's mom. She's been a part of the team from the get-go, hasn't she?
She's that glue, right?
Taking that odd call that you couldn't get to, or that they were trying to reach, and they hit the home number, probably not so much as it used to be, but in the beginning, when everybody had a landline, that's how they got a hold of you.
110%. You had to have that call wait in case you missed a call.
Yeah, right.
She had probably one big rule that I could remember. If that phone rings and I just prepped you a hot dinner, do not answer. So it took me a time or two, but if she had a hot, ready meal, if she just put it on the table and that phone ring, it was the look. Right. The look was, don't answer that phone till you eat your food, then you can answer the phone. So I learned that pretty quick.
That's a pretty good rule. I like that.
That was our only rule.
It'd be hard to pass up a hot meal, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's you guys go through a lot. Y'all do a lot. It's a little bit different than being a street officer. You encounter someone with a gun all the time. If you're in the field,
That's right.
Everybody that you come in contact with is hunting. Unless it's fishing, but they've probably got a gun on them. But luckily, it's been good interaction with the public, and I think they appreciate what we do, or what you guys do as an officer. And
we're going back to the new recruit thing. So one of the keys is the communication piece. So we need you to be able to communicate, because that's what we do. Whether they're hunting or fishing or boating, they got the same likes that him and I do, and we enjoy doing. And we're just out there making sure you're safe. And there are rules and regs, and just make sure you're within those rules and regs that you should know. If you don't, we'll take the time to educate them on them. But communicate, because they're out there having that passion just like us, and we're not out there to, ruin their day or anything. We're just out there to make sure, hey, we're here if you need you.
A lot of discernment and a lot of common sense has to come into play.
Absolutely.
When you're dealing with the public, and Hey, going to the recruitment part as far as new hunters and anglers. You know, I know Darren's been involved in R3 back way before there was an R3. You know, recruiting folks, especially young people, you know, in the area where you've been. I remember early on going out with a video camera and shooting pictures of new hunters that got recruited on youth hunts, you know, in Ashland City and the check station there at the fire station, and and the importance of not only teaching the hunter ed class, but taking that next step, you know, for the kid that maybe didn't have a parent that could take them, you know, but providing an opportunity. So kudos to you for doing that.
I appreciate it. And I know over time there's a lot. The agency does quite well with all the youth programs and hunts, whether it's, you know, we started out with deer, we went to duck, we went to turkey, we went to dove. So all those are out there, and I encourage those families that don't have the opportunity or don't have that mentor. There's a lot of mentorship programs out there now. So just reach out and holler at us. We can direct you in the right direction. To provide that opportunity that you might not have, and we're more than glad to help you out with those programs.
Yeah, that reminds me to go check out our website, GoOutdoorsTennessee.com, because there's an event calendar right there, and there's a lot of stuff coming up.
Right.
You know, dove season will be here before you know it. It's turkey season right now. You know, get out there and enjoy the outdoors.
A lot of fishing events coming up.
Yeah, time to go fishing, but introduce those folks to the outdoors and share the passion that you love. I know I enjoy getting out there with my son, and I can kind of share that excitement. You know, my son killed his first squirrel, and I went crazy. You know, we ain't got the turkey or the deer yet, but it's fun to be out there with your family and your friends.
And you know this well is don't blink, right?
Yeah.
And that's what happens.
Find
right here.
time, yeah.
Yeah. So don't blink. Spend the time when you can, and because one day they're going to be like this.
Yeah.
So don't blink.
Yeah.
Spend time with them.
All right, guys. I appreciate y'all
Thank you.
Thanks. Enjoyed it.
Absolutely.
If somebody wants to be an officer, wants to apply,
Get online, or they can call my office. I'll be glad to help them, HR. But if they want to start out with me, that's great. It's 615-781-6669. And we'll help them get in the right direction with the right folks if it's not me.
Be sure and check out that new promotional video that's out too. That's a real neat piece, and it'll give you get you a little inspired to put your name in the hat to get selected.
And you can always visit tn.gov. I think it's tn.gov/careers, but just go there and click your way through wildlife resources, and they'll be there too. So.
Be glad to help anybody out that has the interest.
All right. We didn't mention it, but you can get these hats like I'm wearing today on the e-store, shop.gooutdoorstennessee.com, and you can also buy a license at gooutdoorstennessee.com. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This is Tennessee WildCast, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for tuning in. Stay connected with TWRA by visiting our website at tnwildlife.org and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hey, it's all about Tennessee wildlife. It's what we do. Tennessee WildCast will be on the air again next week. We'll see you then.